Corporate Finance Core, Topic 9, Financial Risk Management and Derivatives. Learning objective number 7. We're going to create strategies for hedging input costs. In the last few topics, we talked about hedging risk from the perspective of a seller of a commodity. Now, the seller of the commodity would enter into a forward contract to sell the asset, or buy a put contract to sell his or her commodity. So let's talk about if it's the perspective of a buyer of a commodity. So you're trying to hedge input cost. So in perspective of the Todd Hoffman example, Todd could enter into contracts to hedge input costs. His major input cost is diesel fuel. So Todd could enter into a forward or an option contract on diesel fuel. I just want to talk about how that would be a little bit different than enter into a contract to sell an asset. So for a forward contract, if Todd wanted a forward contract on diesel fuel, he would just enter into a contract where he is the buyer of diesel fuel. All right, so for a forward contract, we said that the payoff for a forward of a commodity, so the payoff of a forward is for a seller of the asset, it's going to be F minus ST times the quantity. For the buyer, all you need to do is take a negative sign of that, ST minus F times the quantity. Now I put 1 minus the tax rate. Now our spreadsheets have the tax rate incorporated into it later, but if you're looking for just the after-tax cash flows for the contract, you would take F minus ST times the quantity times 1 minus the tax rate for the seller of the commodity, and for the buyer it would be ST minus F times Q times 1 minus the tax rate. Now for an option, when Todd entered into a put option to sell gold, we have his payoff and profit function here. That is the cost of the minus the cost of the option times the quantity plus maximum of 0 strike minus ST times quantity times 1 minus the tax rate. Again, the spreadsheet, we didn't have to type in the 1 minus tax rate because it's already incorporated into the lower rows. However, if Todd entered into a call option to purchase diesel fuel at some strike price, the only difference in the formula is, notice the order of ST and strike. So it's for the call option, it's the max of 0 ST minus the strike. For the put, it is at max of 0 strike minus ST. So this is how you can model the hedging of an input cost.